We have to have comprehensive immigration reform. That is one of the answers that is necessary there. We're capable of it in a bipartisan way.
It's finally time for us to step up and not only solve the crisis at the border, but do some changes in the immigration laws that are sensible.
Well, you just heard them, leaders from both sides of the aisle saying they are willing to work toward a bipartisan immigration deal. This as House Democrats are wrestling to figure out how to counteract President Trump's border policies as the number of migrants arriving at the border continues to grow to a point authorities say it is overwhelming our immigration system. So, can they actually make a deal? Julia Manchester joins us from Washington. She reports for The Hill. So, Julia, I mean, is the emergency situation on the border, I mean, it's not stopping. It seems to be only growing. Will that be enough, do you think, to push Congress to actually finally do something?
You know, I think it's going to play a part in pushing Congress to do something. However, you know, I think the purge, if you will, that's going on at the Department of Homeland Security is really pushing Congress on Republicans and the Democratic side to really get to the point on this. You know, we heard senior Republicans such as Senator John Cornyn calling the situation at Homeland Security a mess. And you're also hearing Democrats obviously raising alarm bells over the resignations and departures of major officials in Homeland Security, such as former Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen. So, you know, clearly, although they may disagree on the scope of the crisis at the border, I think Republicans and Democrats agree that something needs to be done. However, the major question, I think, in all of this is how is the president going to react? Because let's remember, the president and Senate Republicans and House Republicans haven't always seen eye to eye on the issue of immigration. The president isn't necessarily going to compromise with Democrats. However, I think Republicans in the Senate are going to at least try to compromise with the Democratic side.
That's a fascinating scenario you just painted. You've got clearly what's going on in the agencies under the president. You've got Stephen Miller as the right-hand advisor in dealing with this. When they get these reports, you're saying the folks up on the Hill are going, we actually better really address this now.
Absolutely. But, you know, to your point on Stephen Miller, that's kind of an interesting dynamic in itself. You know, we keep hearing reports and rumblings about this feud between Stephen Miller and Jared Kushner. Now, Stephen Miller is known as a very ultra-conservative, very strict on immigration. However, Jared Kushner is known as more of a globalist. He has associations with the Democratic Party, so he has relationships with Democrats on the Hill. So you're kind of hearing almost two different strategies coming out of the White House at this point. And, you know, it's going to be difficult, I think, for Senate Republicans and Democrats in Congress to really work with the White House right now if there's this weird dynamic of a shift going on between Stephen Miller and Jared Kushner.
But what do you think they will be able to work out? I mean, do they go back to the